So, hello everyone. It's wonderful to be here with you all. Here's my parrot, Birdul, who's come along to say hi. Um, we're virtual, I guess, but I just want to say I owe you and I owe independent booksellers all over the world a huge debt of gratitude. Um, it was you who took H is for Hawk under your wings and made it soar. And while I was on tour, I met so many of you in person, and I treasure every single one of those meetings. Thank you for everything. So I hope that in brighter times to come, I will be able to be with you all in person. But right now, I'm sitting here in my house in rural England, and I'm aching a little from an extremely long walk I did yesterday. And I'm aching because, well, I know I'm a nature writer, but I'm going to confess to you all that I've not been coping with the pandemic the way that people think I have. I've not really been going out there every day communing with the natural world. Most of the time I've been lying on my sofa under a blanket watching action movies and eating pints of ice cream. So don't tell anyone this. Anyway, here's the book. And I am so thrilled it's out in the world and that you have it in your hands. As you all know, H is for Hawk was a memoir. And this one is a collection of essays on very various subjects. But there's a lot of memoir in it. Readers who met me as a grief-stricken 30-something in H is for Hawk can now meet small me, this weird kid covered in scrapes and plasters, climbing trees and catching snakes, and also meet me as an angst-ridden university student, prone to disastrous love affairs, and the 20-something living in Wales in a house full of leeks and rats and very eccentric co-workers. But, I mean, the book's heart isn't me. It's the lives around us all, how beautiful they are and why they're important. And I think it's really important to say it isn't a book that tells readers what to think or feel. The thing is, I'm a really incredibly contrary person. If you tell me to do something, I'll always do the opposite. And what spurs me to act is usually love, not fear. Which means that thanks, Parrot. I'll put him down here. Vesper Flights is not a polemical book, although it does engage really closely with this apocalyptic situation that we're in. It doesn't ever shout at its readers. And in fact, that's one of the reasons I love essays so much. I always feel that they are generous things. They're a way of puzzling something out in the company of a reader, so that both of us, reader and writer alike, can be struck with renewed wonder and surprise at the world. But having said that, there is a message in Vesper Flights, and it's a big one, and it's carried right through the essays. It's that we should fight with all we have for the cause of lives that are not like our own. I think to be truly human, we should learn to delight that the world is full of things that are not like us. Learn to love them because they are not like us. And obviously we have to mourn what's disappearing through habitat loss, through pesticides, through the climate crisis, all these things that make the world ever quieter, darker and smaller. And I think we need to feel that grief and not dissociate ourselves from it. We need to mourn first to change ourselves, to fight for what we love, not are. And there's such a lack of empathy in the world right now, as I'm sure lots of you are feeling, and so many of the essays in this book are about the importance of trying to see the world through eyes that are not like our own, to stretch our capacity for empathy, to learn to extend love and respect outside our comfort zone to other lives and try really hard to honour their lived reality. And I think the book also says to readers, believe the natural world is yours too, because it is. No matter what cultural or social boundaries have been set up and are policed against you, these growing, thriving, flying, swimming things are yours too. And when you look at landscapes and look at creatures, we should try to notice the human meanings that we have given them. Because the book says, the trick is this. If you can hold those human meanings in your head and push them aside just a little, you can look past them to the animal itself. And the real magic is that sometimes the animals can do this for you. Encounters can be miracles. And that's what I want most of all this book to do, show that these miracles can happen. So here's a story. I remember walking once up a grassy, sun-crisp autumn headland on the very edge of New Zealand. I'd gone there waiting for something, but I wasn't sure whether it was going to happen at all. And the air was very still and the sky a remote blank blue. And then the wind came. The wind came suddenly, and it was a benison. It rolled in off the ocean. And there in front of me, a lump of white started to move on the ground. It raised these awkward stick-like arms covered in fluffy down, and it wobbled them. And these were wings that had not yet flown. It looked like a small child in a ghost outfit. It was a young albatross. And for many months it had sat there looking out to sea. And when I saw it, being literary, I thought of Theseus's ships, of the black sails coming home, and I thought of Coleridge's albatross and Baudelaire's albatross, and our imperial visions of global exploration and romantic notions of solitude. And caught up with Coleridge's albatross was this biting sense of human guilt at what we're doing to the natural world. Because when big things happen, I think old stories are always conjured along with the new. But the wind continued to blow. And then the albatross came. The albatross came, flew in, and it was too big to understand. It was as if a dog were hanging there in the air. It came in on the wing with these long knife-like wings bowed and webbed feet spread like rudders. It was the most astonishing thing. And as it curved in, it turned its head and it looked at me with its mild Madonna eyes down this long squid-cutting beak, and I was absolutely lost for words. Its world was wind and sea and spray and salt, and the uplift from rolling swell over the southern oceans. And it looked right through all the stories I'd ever been told about the world, and the air shivered with its newness. And that's the kind of sense that I hope Vesper Flights will evoke in you and in, I hope, its readers. Thanks so much.